Yesterday, we spoke a little bit about the pasuk in Parshas Kedoshim that tells the loisase of treifa. Va'anshe kodesh tiyunli ubasar basada treifa loisay chelu lakelev tashlicha noisay. The ikar point of the pasuk is ubasar basada treifa loisay chelu, which is the backdrop to Perek Elu Treifas. The Torah prefaces the lav with the words Va'anshe kodesh tiyunli. Additionally, the Torah tells you what exactly you're supposed to do with the treifa. What you do with it is lakelev tashlicha noisay. And yesterday's raid, we talked a little bit about what's this hakdama of Va'anshe kodesh tiyunli, and we related it to the pasuk in Parshas Re'eh that says ki am kodesh atal Hashem Elokecha, in the pasuk that talks about the nevela and says that the nevela is not something you're allowed to eat, but you're supposed to give it to the ger or you sell it to the nachri. Additionally, the psukim in the end of Parshas Kedoshim and Parshas Shmini that talk about how Kedoshim Tiyu is an inyan that governs very much machalas asuras. So whenever you find machalas asuras, it comes together with this idea of Anshe Kodesh Tiyunli. We spoke out the Chassam Sofer's kasha, that why do you have to take the basa the treifa and give it to the kelev as if some last resort because you have nothing to do with it? Why can't you be mevatel it? Be mevatel it, and once you be mevatel, at that point you'll be allowed to eat it. You'll tell me, mevatel and nisel lechatchila, that's only nisel rabbanon. And the Chassam Sofer was mechadish that you see from here that even though mevatel and nisel lechatchila in sugis hashas is and nisel rabbanon, that's when there's a taruvas lach balach where the davar aser is literally bottle. But to the extent that the davar aser is beend, it's going to be a taruvas yavish beyavish kuli alma moidi that arvin. That a mevatlin iser lechatchila is going to be an iser de oiraisa. And the raya is literally from this pasuk. We mentioned that this chiddush states in Noida Yehuda, but the bottom line is that was one hara that we spoke about. Another hara we mentioned is why can't you give it to a katan? And don't tell me chinuch, because chinuch is a derabanan. And katan oichel nevelos bezdin is not mitzvah lehafrisha. You'll tell me lois achilam. So hoteinach if lois achilam is true for all isurim, but the achronim have a chakira that it could be it's only negay the three isurim that I mentioned mefurish in the Gemara in Yavamas Daf Kuf Yadal and Amad Aleph, and treif is not one of them. Nevela is not one of them. So why is it when it comes to treif lakelev tashlicha nois, and what is it when it comes to the nevela you give it to the ger or you give it to the nachri? Why can't you just go ahead and be mevatel it? We spoke out that it and give it to the katan. So we mentioned that it could be Va'anshe kodesh tiyunli. It's related to the timtum alev, the kedusha, and there's an element of timtum alev that you have even when there's a bittul, right? That's the heter that the Pischei Tshuva brings in Siman Kuf Tezayin. And even though the Soilus L'mincha B'Shem, the Torah Hashem says, nah, but we mentioned from the Chidah that mitzad Kadesh Atzvach B'Mutlach in the world of Kedusha Yisera. So Va'anshe kodesh tiyunli is not only why Basad the Treif Lo Yisechelu, but it's also why Lakelev Tashlicha. That's just a little bit of chazara of what we spoke about in yesterday's daf. But I saw, just going through some of the Rishonim on this pasuk, Va'anshe kodesh tiyunli, something that made me stop in my tracks, and that is in the Abarbanel. The Abarbanel, who Kedarke B'Kodesh is being mefarish the psukim al pi pshutei shel mikra. It's been a while since we did Chumash here, or even the Haggadah Shiurim, which featured the Abarbanel very prominently. But the Abarbanel on this pasuk says as follows: Ve'efsher sheyeh hamaimer hazeh kimashmoi. It could be this pasuk Va'anshe kodesh tiyunli ubasa basal the treif loisay chelut lakelev tashlicha noisay is meant to be taken kimashmoi. Very, very literally. V'yeh inyana, and the inyan is as follows: Shelo yehu perutzim lechol hatreifos shenitrafu basada. That you shouldn't be reckless and just eat the treifos that were trampled in the field. Kedarkei hagoyim nichbedeim v'sareihem, which was the custom of the Ein Yehudim. Their nichbedeim, their nobles, v'sareihem, and their ministers, sheyelchu lotzitzai batzada. They would go hunting. And when they would go hunting, they would bring their dog together with them. And they would hunt, and the dog would hunt. And whatever they would catch, they themselves, the noble people, would eat. So it's for that reason the Torah said, that you should be Kedoshim, says the Torah. Because in the event that you're going to decide, you, the Anshe Kodesh, you want to go hunting, lis ales, you're going to do exactly what the Nechbadim will do. That's fine. But in the event that you're going to go and you're going to catch animals through the klavim, the klavim are going to be the ones that are going to catch. The kedoshim, you shouldn't eat it. The dog should go ahead and eat it. So it seems that there was this old custom that people would go out and they would hunt. And when they would hunt, they would go together with the dogs. They would catch, the dogs would catch, and they would eat everything. It didn't matter if they caught it or if the dogs caught it. You shouldn't do that. So that when you go hunting with your dogs, if the dog catches it, like Kelev Tashlich say, he should eat it, you should not eat it. So the Ubasa Basad, the treifa, while you're hunting, how did it become a treifa? From the dog. The dog is what tore it apart. Let the dog eat what it tore apart, because that's already a bechin of Anshe Kodesh. The Abarbanel seems to be saying that it's okay to go hunting. In fact, the Torah is talking to the hunter. And by the way, you know what we're describing the hunter as? Anshe Kodesh Tiyui. So when you hunt, do it like Anshe Kodesh. Don't do it like Regel and Ichpadim and Sarim. Your hunting should be different. Shlo Yehei ha-hunting shal kodesh, ka-hunting shal chol. That's what we're saying over here. V'anshe kodesh tiyonli, and that's the way that you should go out and you should do the hunting. And l'may nafkamina, in the event that the kelev is going to go ahead and he's going to chop something, so they would say, oh, perfect, dog works for me, thank you for lunch, thank you for dinner. No, if the kelev is the one that created and caused the ubasa basar, the treifa lo yisachelu, in that situation, like kelev tashlich anoisai. What's the Maramakim? Of course, the Maramakim is the Noida B'Yehuda. Shailas Shuvas Noida B'Yehuda, Yeredeya, Madura Tinyana, Simen Yod, where this fellow sends the Shaila to the Noida B'Yehuda. Remember his name? Gumfricht Oppenheim. So Gumfricht Oppenheim sends his Shaila to Noida B'Yehuda. He's this very, very wealthy person, and he owns acres and acres of land, and he likes to go hunting sometimes. And he asked him from a halachic perspective, Tzar Bali Chayim, and Shmartem Oibla Nafshei Seichem, Bal Tashches, all the different Shailas. But then the Noida B'Yehuda tells him, Me'omna Me'oidani Tamei Al Guf HaDavar, V'loi Matzinu Ish Tzayid Rak B'Nimrod U'Be'esav, Ve'ein Zed Darki B'nei Avram, Yitzchak V'Yakov. This is his famous line that he tells him. It's an Afna Barbanel. That Barbanel says, Anshe Kodesh Tiyonli, you could hunt. But you have to do it differently. You don't hunt the way the people that are not Kedoshim hunt. Again, this is fascinating. This Noida B'Yehuda is the gift that keeps on giving. This is the first very light ha'ara. The second light ha'ara is